I'm ready, dude.
More ready than you right now.
No.
Okay, you ready? All right, listen. Welcome to APC.
America's PotCast.
Episode 6, Marijuana Legalization in Professional Sports.
Many of you might not know the majority of professional athletes smoke marijuana.
What you also might not know is how lenient some pro organizations are compared to others.
Exactly why I love hockey players.
Okay, all right. I also talk about the only downside of legalization for athletes and what steps the NFL is taking to adjust their substance abuse policy, finally.
And we get into how cannabis is a neuroprotectant and how it can help reverse CTE.
Thank goodness.
And we laugh about what Bay Area stadiums we haven't smoked in.
And Ray also tells us about how she had to carry an egg around school to learn responsibility.
Oh, but how Austin still hasn't clutched his first solo win in Fortnite.
Okay, all right. That's how you're going to be? All right, anywho, here's episode 6.
I feel the master. I feel him. Y'all ready? They ready? Well, come on. Y'all ready? They ready?
So we were just talking about athletes and like professional sports. I'd love to touch upon the topic of talking about legalization, finally getting somewhere with cannabis with these professional sports.
Yeah. Let me hear
Do you know?
it.
What do you know about it? Tell me what you know.
I don't know a ton. I have a lot of assumptions. I think that it's still very frowned upon everywhere else just because, like, okay, I think of the NFL. It's headquartered in New York City.
Corporate.
Much like corporate America, just because it's legal in California doesn't mean that
that you can
have
do it in
the
every
freedom
other
to
state.
do that, because my rules of engagement might be hosted elsewhere.
Right. Just like for these athletes, the NFL or the NBA, they can't consume even if they are in a legal state.
But I don't know all the back office stuff because I have a few friends in the league, and I actually thought it was interesting as well that sometimes when they get paid too, that they get paid depending on like where they play. So if they're playing in California, they might get taxed more than if they were playing in Florida.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So if they have a couple games in Florida, they're like, oh yeah, we getting some money because they ain't getting taxed on it. That's pretty cool.
So I don't know all the inside trade, and especially not related to cannabis. I do know that there are a lot of advocates out there.
Okay.
I know that it's a hot topic, but I would love to hear more about it.
Sadly, all the advocates are out. There's no current players that are advocates, really, to be honest, because they get scrutinized for it.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
And it's the sad state we're in. But we're getting somewhere with legalization and marijuana. The NHL is the least tested, going from the MLB, baseball, to basketball to NFL. The NFL being the most tested, the most hawked down.
Which is interesting because they're one of the most physical.
Right. So,
I mean, hockey's very physical with the fighting, but outside of that,
yeah, the NFL should honestly be the most lenient for multiple reasons. The reason one for me would be that marijuana is a neuroprotectant, so cannabidiol, CBD, and THC play a huge factor in protecting the neurons in your brain, and they actually build what's called your myelin sheath.
So it's kind of like a shield?
It's kind of like a shield for your brain. It actually, the more traumatic injury you have, the better it's going to work for you. It's actually been known to reduce and reverse CTE, which CTE is a humongous thing going on right now with football players.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if you knew, but a recent study came out with CTE that 110 players out of 111 test positive for CTE.
So pretty much every single one.
Pretty much. So 98% of retired NFL players have some sort of CTE.
What is CTE?
CTE. Whew. You ready for the big word?
I think.
Okay. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Oh my goodness.
Chronic traumatic
encephalopathy.
That.
Encephalopathy. Don't ask me to say that 3 times fast.
Inception.
Because it ain't going to happen. Encephalopathy. So, CTE, it's basically caused from a history of traumatic brain injuries.
Repeated.
Blunt hits to the head.
Right.
I mean, military veterans come away with this as well, but majority resides with NFL players getting the shots to the head all the time.
And it's pretty much every single one of them has it.
All the time, yep.
Wow.
I mean, unless you're the kicker. And that's
like
about it. That's the 90.
Kicker,
that's the 2%. They have 98% of these boys are coming away with CTE brain damage. 98%.
Wow.
And so this is the unbelievable thing, is cannabis reverses CTE. So why is this not approved?
And
it's
that's
unreal.
proven.
This is proven. This is proven by a Harvard professor. This is proven by multiple medical journals. I mean, it's sad that this isn't approved. Hold on.
I wonder why. I mean, it has that much of a stigma.
So it's not even the stigma, it's the fact that the federal law has it still as a Schedule 1 drug,
right.
that the NFL, Roger Goodell and his team...
Their hands are tied.
Their hands are tied, pretty much. Very good way to explain it. Their hands are tied. They can't do anything until the federal law allows them to do something. So, now very recently actually, the NFL Players Association came to the NFL with a proposition basically to have them start testing medical marijuana for stress relief and chronic pain and CT and all this kind of stuff. And actually the NFL is funding the whole project. Not only are they like doing it, but they're funding it as well. So that hopefully will be soon that's done. I don't think this year or the next year we will see their laws changing or whatever, their rules changing. So, but it's a step, you know?
Hey, and that's all you need to get the ball rolling, you know?
Heck yeah. And already
snowball down a mountain, baby.
Yep.
Ready for the avalanche, though.
Right. You want to know what some symptoms of CTE are, though?
Yeah. Because what is it? Because this is like after years and years. It takes a while to develop.
Yeah, the longer it stays in your body, the worse it gets.
Okay.
But it does take a while to develop. Actually, Kyle Turley, he had 100 concussions in 10 years. Is that insane? 10 years of being a football player. And he's a big advocate for medical marijuana, actually.
I can't imagine, like, my brain going through that and, like, what it would be like.
Unreal. Obviously, it's like when you break your bone, it's easier to do it a second time. So once you get one concussion, it's easier to get the second. Third time is much easier.
But think about what a concussion is, and your brain literally, like, hitting the outside, like, where it's not supposed to go.
Jeez. And these boys are 350 pounds,
You're
jacked.
in anatomy. You've probably seen a brain.
Oh, I've seen a lot of brains. A lot more than what you'd want to see.
Okay.
I just got done seeing brains, actually.
Scientists.
Not going to lie. No, it is pretty cool to see, though.
So wouldn't that be weird? Like, think about getting hit that hard and how soft that brain is.
Right.
And it just whacking itself, like, inside your
and obviously
skull.
The brain is your...
main organ.
Right. Main epicenter of what your body wants to do.
It's the nucleus.
Yes. So CTE symptoms include persistent vomiting, up to 3-day bouts of confusion, unprovoked rage, self-harm, and suicidal impulses. Doesn't sound fun to me.
I wonder why those are the symptoms, though. Like, because your brain, like, that's interesting.
So CTE is actually
that it's not as much like physical as it is mental.
There's these little proteins, and what happens in CTE is these little proteins called Tau, T-A-U. They actually start to form lumps in your brain, and they just begin to get bigger and much more abundant, much more abundant over time. So it just keeps getting worse and worse, and your brain just keeps getting pushed down, and it's just no bueno.
Stoner. That doesn't sound fun. And, like, that's really cool that marijuana can... Why do I say marijuana? That cannabis can reverse it, you said? That's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, so it actually can reverse it. THC, which is tetrahydrocannabinol, which is the part that actually makes you high. So we all preach about CBD being, like, the godsend and all that kind of stuff, about being the big health benefiter. Well, THC is playing a big role in this, and that it's the psychoactive ingredient in marijuana. Duh, everybody knows that. But it stimulates parts of the brains that are involved with healing after a traumatic brain injury. I would love to know the science behind this, but this was actually research done by a Harvard professor, so I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
Maybe we got to make a trip over there.
Heck yeah, I'd love to talk to him. I'd love to talk to Mr. Grinspoon.
Well, what's interesting, too, is that the NHL player, Riley Coate, he said that he had been in over 250 fights in his life and has taken so much head trauma that he thinks that all of these cannabinoids throughout the time he's been smoking while playing and in season and off season, that it has protected his brain.
Oh, I bet it has. 100% bet it has. I actually did a little research on him a long time ago. You all know something funny?
Yeah.
What's so funny is that he played 156 games, right?
Yeah.
He had 412 penalty minutes. He had 6 assists and 1 goal. 1 career goal.
Why? Because he was fighting so much?
I guess because he was fighting the whole time and he was in the penalty box. But he was good at something. They had him on the ice for some reason. So
he was good at bringing the fans in.
That's probably exactly what it was. Cause
they're like, we make enough money to pay him.
Right. Damn right. I'd be going to watch the games. I think the fighting is the best part.
Wow.
Scoring a goal is the second best, most fun part of watching an NHL game.
Well, okay, I actually have a genuine question off the top.
Is it genuine? If it's genuine.
My mom always said, why do you say to be honest? You should always be honest.
You should always be honest, Ray.
Yeah.
Oh, she's right.
Like when we were in the bong shop and I was like, I think I like that one more, to be honest. I'm thinking, I'm not lying. I was saying that.
I wasn't even thinking about lying. Oh, Lordy.
But no.
So ask me that genuine question.
My question was, we know all the benefits now, I feel like, and it's a good thing, but what are the said negative, like, how may it affect athletes in a negative way, other than it just being bad publicity?
Are you talking about athletic performance? Or are you talking about...
I don't know, just
athlete stigma?
Both.
I think athletic performance, as long as you don't overdose, and honestly, if you've been smoking for a while, you know your personal limit, you know what it takes to get you in the zone, and you know what it takes you to overdose and to be out of that zone, to be slumped.
Well, but let's be clear when you say overdose. You're not saying, like, obviously cannabis doesn't kill people, so you're just saying, like, get too high than what you would want to be using.
Correct.
For.
To get higher than your personal limit at that time that you know. Obviously, these players are smoking before the game. Some smoke, like, literally, they are high during their play. That is not out of the question. Some of these boys are playing high. Actually,
maybe off a little edible or something.
No, I mean, maybe they smoked like an hour and a half before the game or whatnot, but some of these boys are taking like droplets or whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, especially CBD because it's non-psychoactive, so you want that for anti-inflammation and all that kind of stuff, arthritis, chronic pain. I think the only thing would be wrong if they legalized marijuana to be against like the banned substance list. It's just they don't even test for it. I think the only thing that throws a problem out is if these athletes get caught like smoking in public and these kids see them and they hold these athletes to the highest regard. They want to be just like them. They wear their jerseys every day. They have 5 posters of them in their room. If they get caught with a blunt in their hand and just their parents have told them that that's extremely blah, 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 they just educate them in the wrong way. That is not a good look for athletes. So that's the only thing. If they can keep it behind closed doors, they're good. I think that's completely fine. I think this is 100% fine. I think that's the only threat that it poses if an athlete is dumb as crap and smokes in public. Mm-hmm. So with them being professional, they've come a long way. Trust me.
They don't want that image for themselves.
Correct. I don't think they're ever going to be posting on their Instagram or anything like that.
It's crazy, though, because it's like, yeah, they don't want that for themselves, but that's because of the stigma we've had from so long ago. Like, if we never had the stigma to begin with, it could be just like drinking and cigarettes, and we have commercials of people smoking weed like we do giving a cheers at a goddamn...
Right. I can't wait for those commercials to come one day. I agree with you. Ray. It really stinks. If we didn't have that negative stigma, I'm sure this would not be a Schedule 1 drug. It would be administered in exactly the same way. It's
kind of cool that we get to be the rebels, though.
We are. Well, not the rebels. We're in a prohibition era. We are activists. We are activists. We are the people telling.
I just like being a rebel.
Right. We aren't necessarily spreading the positive. We're spreading the real image.
The knowledge.
Yeah. We're not
education.
We're giving you the negatives and the positives. So, just with anything can be abused. I can drink too much water and die. I can't smoke too much weed and die. Yeah. That's funny.
Yo, I wanted to tell you a funny story, though, about, like, a bad publicity thing about a Patriots player, actually.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Duron Harmon?
No.
So he's a defensive back for the Patriots, but recently, this happened a month ago, he got himself into trouble because he was traveling to Costa Rica, and apparently they found a sizable amount of weed, like confined within his luggage.
Uh-huh.
And it's interesting to think, because I've always wondered, like, you can fly with weed sometimes in the United States, but I've always wondered about traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently he attempted to enter Costa Rica, and it said with a variety of cannabis products, including, this is what he had on him, 58 grams, so just over 2 ounces of weed. So this was stuffed inside a can of iced tea. Sounds kind of clever.
Okay.
3 pipes filled with cannabis oil.
3 pipes filled with cannabis.
Yeah,
so I'm guessing
I don't know.
Cartridges, maybe?
Maybe some sort of like syringes.
Okay. Extract.
Because I've seen people too with the extract, they'll just squeeze that on like top of a bowl or in a joint or something.
Right.
So he had the 58 grams of flour in the iced tea can, 3 pipes filled with cannabis oil, an edible, and 4 containers of compressed marijuana weighing approximately 4.3 grams. So I'm thinking hash maybe or something like that.
Right.
But I was like, dang, that's
a
kind of
lot. That's a lot. For how many
Rica.
days? What was he going for the whole summer?
I don't know.
Oh my lordy, is he going with the whole team?
So he pretty much like almost got arrested, but I guess the United States like got him back somehow. But he was flying out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He's 27 years old. He had his best season in the pros in 2017. So he was playing in all 16 games. He finished the year with 23 combined tackles, 4 interceptions, and 7 pass deflections.
Nice. Very good.
As a free safety.
That's really good as a free safety. I thought he was a corner. Wow. That's pretty darn good.
I think he plays a few different things, but...
There's a lot more athletes than we realize that smoke marijuana.
But,
a ton
and
more.
then at the end of this article, it even said, it was rumored that the real reason former Pats defensive back Malcolm Butler was benched in the Super Bowl, this most recent one, was due to his alleged marijuana use. But that has yet to be confirmed by head coach Bill Belichick or even Butler himself.
He denies it. Yeah, Butler denies it. I just read an article.
Isn't that interesting?
That stinks. That's sad.
Like...
You can't smoke a blunt just because you just got the Super Bowl.
Not even that.
Come on,
someone probably said some... bull crap about had a blunt or something. You saw all that stuff about OBJ and he had a video and
oh man, and with social media now, as soon as one thing gets out,
I know,
boom,
and
wildfire.
I know, and I mean it's like from their perspective, I would just be like, it's a cigar, you know, like you can't really assume, you really can't, but
you can't.
You can't.
It's just still not like exactly. These boys ain't gonna be smoking a straight swisher, you know. No.
Right. Nah.
Not gonna happen.
So I don't know, but then you look at people like Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt, like...
Come on now.
You know?
Olympic gold medalist.
Steady smoking.
Olympic gold medalist. These boys are the best in the world.
Right.
The 0.1% of the goddamn world. And yeah, we still have it.
0.01 probably.
Right. 0.0001 if you really want to get to it.
I don't even know.
Okay. Let's stop trying to one up each other. Anyways, these boys are the best of the best. And how is it still rejected by the agencies? It's unreal. You know what's funny is I saw on 420 on Friday that Bleacher Report, obviously a very big sports Instagram, had a whole thing about athletes and cannabis. And they had a whole bunch of athletes like Al Harrington, even Britton was on there, Eugene Monroe. Don't remember anybody else that was on there, but they had very good content. And they were just basically saying that everybody smokes. Coaches, trainers, the staff in the office, the players, obviously.
I think everybody smokes now. I like to think that like everybody smokes.
Pretty much, yeah. And I'm sure some guys only smoke like maybe once a week, once a month. Some smoke 3 times a day. I mean, it's all different, but trust me, the benefits are still available to those that smoke seldomly, you know? So let's get this shit approved. Come on, man. Stop fucking around.
I just think, too, it's like, just like when you're under 21 and you can't drink yet, it's like cool to be drinking, to be a underage and misbehaving. So, of course, if it's like weed is bad, everyone's going to want to smoke it. There was a study recently, I forgot by who, but it was saying that teens nowadays, the rate of them smoking cannabis is lower now because for that very reason. It's not as frowned upon anymore with people growing up. So it's like, is it really cool? Like, I
can believe it. I can believe that. Yep. Because I remember, I don't even drink as much now. When I was younger, and the Marine Corps especially, I drank a ton. A ton, because it was a hell of a lot more fun
And you're like,
to do
ooh,
it.
something to do. This is what older people do. I'm cool.
Right, exactly. And I think if you're below, your brain is still not developed yet. If you smoke marijuana too young, it still has inverse effects on your growing brain's potential. But with that being said, if it was normalized, if it was legalized, these kids would be more educated about it, and they wouldn't be wanting to do it like we are with alcohol, being rebellious and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot more benefits for an athlete to smoking marijuana than just neuroprotectant.
Well, guess what else is a benefit?
Well, let me know.
This is a great thing to think of. Okay,
all
these people tear their ACL or they get hurt or they're in pain every day, but then we just prescribe them opiates and all kinds of crazy pills and addictive substances. Like, why wouldn't we just let them smoke weed that's grown from the ground and that's actually may have more benefits than we think it does?
It does have a lot more, definitely, and it's non-addictive.
Right.
It's non-addictive. I mean, if 98% of these NFL players are coming out of the NFL and they're giving these players opioids like it's vitamin C, and these things are addictive, I mean, that's horrible. You're just giving basically a prisoner guns and like to kill more people and shit. Like, come on now. This is opposite
and
thinking.
They don't want to be taking that kind of stuff either, so.
Right. And I mean, honestly, if they're already addicted, then they're just going to keep on doing it because they
have no other way.
Right. Neurologically, they have no other way.
Oss, did you know that?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up, da?
What's up? Oss, did you know that Eben Britton is a part of a philanthropic organization called Athletes for Care?
No, I didn't. And what does philanthropic mean? I don't know what that means.
Like philanthropy.
Oh,
so it's,
come on, Austin.
Like, I don't know, for a good cause.
I gotcha. Yep.
Yeah.
As a nonprofit, like that's kind of what it means. Cool. Okay.
So the goal for this organization, Athletes for Care, is to allow them to come together. And when I say them, this is former athletes, professional athletes, come together into a safe space. And if they're looking for alternative medicine, as well as those simply looking for support.
That's really cool.
So after
Good for
leaving
them.
like the professional world, being able to come to some sort of group.
Okay, cool.
And talk about
so transition.
Kind of
yeah, that's really cool. Good for them. That's really, really
cool. So I
cool.
saw there were actually people within that came from the NFL, from the NBA, from the MLB, from NHL, I don't know if I said that, and from UFC.
Okay, so all walks of life. Good. Good for them. I'm glad they're doing that. That's really cool. I think Kyle Turley, the guy that had 100 concussions in 10 years, I think he's a part of that as well.
He might be.
That's really cool. So I want to say one more thing. So we spoke about how cannabis is a neuroprotectant, but I also want to say that it's helpful with stress relief for these athletes. I mean, obviously they're going through a bunch. Some of these athletes might be going through a divorce while they're playing the biggest games of their life in the NBA Finals or Super Bowl, what have you. They're going through a lot. I mean, these guys are put on a pedestal.
Public eye.
Yeah, these guys are always getting interviewed and are always doing extremely rigorous workouts. I mean, they got a lot of shit going on. They're a professional because they are the best of the best. We are not because, well, we are not like them. They're just a dime a dozen. So, they need stress relief. Cannabis is a great alternative. Obviously, popping a Vicodin every night is not the best thing. Right, exactly. Sleep. These boys need to sleep. Their bodies are amped up all the time. They need a way to relax and calm down. This is a great way. I mean, come on now. I think my biggest use of marijuana now is for sleep. I love it. Let's talk about post-recovery from workouts. I mean, that's also helping your body go from its sympathetic state where it's ready for a workout. It's still like amped up. Even after a 2 or 3 hour workout in the sun, your body is still on that
running
time
on
clock.
that energy.
Yep. Marijuana helps your parasympathetic autonomic nervous system. I learned this in anatomy, so I'm trying to flex my muscles a little bit here. If I don't flex it here, then I'll forget it. It's activating your parasympathetic autonomic nervous system, which helps for post-recovery and workouts. And cannabis is a safer form of pain relief versus the opioids that they give out like candy.
Well, and nowadays too, like the cannabis is so good and such good quality, they're not allowed to use pesticides and all this other stuff, especially with vaping.
Right.
That it's so much better, probably,
Well, let me disagree on that topic. There actually is quite a bit of dispensaries that you wouldn't even realize that are still using pesticides and synthetic ingredients and stuff like that. But
I'm just saying from where we've come from.
Yep,
but
yep.
yeah.
So I'm disagreeing with you in that sense, but I'm agreeing with you in that it's a crap ton cleaner than it was 5 years ago. Especially with these boys making a lot of money, they can pay to get the good stuff. They know the plug, or if they don't, Tom Brady does, or Kevin Durant knows the guy. Like, come on now.
Or you just hit up Burner.
Right, come on now. You live if you play in the Golden State Warriors, you already know Burner. I'm sure y'all be smoking. So
heck yeah.
Don't be hiding. I see y'all. Y'all need to come on to America.
We smoked an SAP. Where the Warriors play on that gelato.
That is crazy. We smoked in a lot of professional athletes' places.
Blunt of gelato.
We smoked in the Oracle Arena.
We smoked in the Raiders Stadium, remember, and almost got caught. Do you remember the cops kept coming down the freaking staircase, looking? And you guys, the funniest part is, dude, Raiders fans, they ain't no snitches now.
No, they don't care.
The cops come over here and everyone's like, I don't know what you're talking about,
right.
you know?
Like, why y'all even tripping? We're in Oakland. Get out of here.
But I just thought that was hilarious that, like, the community, especially the cannabis community, comes, like, has each other's back for stuff like that, you know? Definitely. It was really cool.
That's funny as crap. So now that you made me think of it.
And Giants.
We smoked at every single stadium. We smoked at every single stadium.
Not Avaya.
Not at Avaya. That's the only one. That's the only one, because we smoked at SAP Center, Sharks. We smoked at
Levi's,
49ers.
But not for 49ers game. You probably have.
I have.
But I've smoked for the
You still smoked at the stadium.
But yeah, true.
So you still smoked at the stadium. We smoked at the Oakland Raiders Stadium, which is the Oakland Athletics, the A's, the baseball stadium.
Baseball and football.
And then we've always smoked in Oracle Arena, which is the Warriors.
And you said Giants?
And we smoked in AT&T Park, which is the Giants.
Yep.
We have hotboxed every single professional stadium in the Bay Area. That is lit, right?
That's so
That
cool.
is lit.
Well, we love sports. We love cannabis.
That is lit. Dude, that's a freaking bucket list goal for sure. We just need to smoke at Avaya, which is the MLS soccer team.
And when they build the new Warrior Stadium in the city.
Yeah, we'll definitely hotbox that.
That would be lit if they just had it on, like, an island.
You know what's funny? As I bet the professional players wish they could hotbox their own stadium. But we did it. We did it, boy.
Well, we may or may not have, but I don't know if I would if I was them, because you could get your ass fired.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, you don't want these young kids seeing you smoke, that's for sure.
But let's talk about the different things we smoked. Like at SAP Center, we hit the vape, like the brass knuckles cartridge. At the AT&T Park, we had an actual joint.
Which we got busted for that joint.
At Levi's, we smoked the Toasties.
Those worked great.
Because they look like cigarettes, but they're not. It's cannabis.
They're great, definitely. They won't get you that insane high if you're looking for that high, but they definitely get you toasted.
And then the freaking... in the Warriors Stadium, Oracle Arena was the blunt. Gelato.
Yeah. Gassy.
That's because we were there for the Jay-Z concert.
Right.
But it was still the stadium. Yeah.
That's so cool. That's sick.
And another cool place we smoked was on the gondola in Lake Tahoe.
Oh, we could have a whole episode of places we smoked at.
Yeah. Sorry, I just thought that one was cool.
It's okay. So some of the biggest
Have we smoked at Jag Stadium? We smoked at Everbank, B.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, B.
I smoked at the Miami Dolphins Stadium.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, have I smoked FSU's? Maybe not.
We have to go back. I haven't smoked at the Gators, the Swamp.
Swamp.
I smoked at San Jose State, though, obviously.
Obviously,
duh. I want you to share your stories about all the times in SF that you saw, like, homeless people rolling blunts and stuff on the subways or in the buses or whatever.
Well, that was, in one case in particular, I'm riding the bus to work in the morning, and obviously I love smoking weed, but I never smoke before my work day or during the work day. I keep it very stringent to, like, just before bed during the week or, like, when I get home.
Right. I can't either, honestly.
But I won't be productive. But I remember getting on the bus and I'm like, oh my God, it smells like fire. And, I'm like, oh, I so wish I could wake and bake, and I look like a few
like
people next
around.
to me, and this girl is literally like breaking down weed in a blunt wrap just in her lap, like on the bus.
On the bus, public transportation.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, she's OG.
And honestly,
That's
the
funny.
only thing that's sketch about that is sometimes those buses, and I say sometimes, like probably at least 5 times a day, those run hella routes.
Okay.
But they stop, and there's like the SFMTA people, the officers, that will come onto the bus, and they have a scanner, and they go around and say, where's your bus card? Where, because that's a big problem. All the homeless people will just ride the bus around town all day, and then they're losing money on that.
Of course.
And then people don't want to ride the bus because there's homeless people.
Oh, man.
So that's what they do to prevent it. And I've seen some people, like, just working people just get on and not pay. It's like $2, $2.50 or something.
Right.
$5 max. But sometimes if you're in a rush, dude, you don't even have the money. You're just like, I have 4 stops, fuck it.
Yeah.
But I've seen people like get stopped, and they're like writing them like $100 to $200 tickets.
Dang.
For not paying your fucking bus fee.
Hey, you know what? That's just kind of like riding.
I saw this one girl go, I am not taking this. And they're like, ma'am, you need it. And she's like, I'm not. You didn't give it to me. Like, she's like running away. I'm like,
she should have ran. Yeah. Running off on a $2 fee from the bus.
Strain of the day.
Sod. And we ain't talking about the grass on the field. We talk about the grass you smoked.
Grass in the bowl, bitch.
Strain of the day.
All right, you guys, I'm about to hit our strain of the day, which is Blueberry Diesel out of my brand new pink Vertex glass bong.
That's sweet.
And it's about, I don't know, 10
inches high.
10 inches high?
Yeah.
It's a nice little personal size.
Blueberry Diesel, baby. It's a hybrid. Blueberry being the indica, sour diesel being the sativa.
Yum.
And you know what's funny about your new bong? It
doesn't have a very crazy flavor to me. Like, it does just taste like a OG type strain. It doesn't taste super blueberry to me.
You know what I like about your new bong, right?
What?
Is that it's a single percolator. It's a beaker style bong, which means the base at the bottom of it.
It doesn't have a percolator though. What? Just the stem?
I'm just trying to describe it to people real quick. So a beaker style bong is fat at the bottom and obviously skinny up top for the mouthpiece. It kind of looks like a piece of lab glass that you would see in chemistry.
Yeah, like the beakers.
Yep, just like a beaker. That's where they probably got it from. Anyways, it's just a down stem that percolates the water that actually makes the smoke filter into the water. And it's just has slits in it. There's no other percolators, and
there is an ice catcher, but I don't really use it that much yet.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is there's no other like fancy ways to filter the smoke, but yet this is probably one of the smoothest pieces I've ever hit. Isn't that funny? Sometimes simple. Yeah, sometimes simple is the best. Enjoy the simple things and laugh. Marijuana.
Well, I really like that because I just have it sitting next to my Xbox.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like super easy, Can
we tell the people Fortnite over PUBG?
Yeah.
Ray approves this message. I don't know on this one. I don't know if we said on this one.
Everyone.
Ray approves this message.
Public service announcement. Woo woo. Fortnite is still better than PUBG.
Yes.
I would much rather download free Fortnite, buy the battle pass, be a loser and buy a few skins for $30 than buck up and buy PUBG, because PUBG's $30.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You had to buy that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that stinks.
I mean, I like to play it. Like, I haven't actually played it yet. Like, I don't
But you
really
like to play it? Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
No, I'm just saying I don't mind, like...
I hope you're being honest.
I don't mind paying for a video game. Like, $30 isn't expensive for a video game.
Damn, $30 ain't shit. Okay.
But of course, Austin, I be pulling hose with PUBG, so I be trying to use that.
Okay, a little leverage. Ooh, I got PUBG at my house. You want to come over?
No, normally what I bribe them with is food.
Oh, that's the way to a man's heart. A true man's heart, that's the way to it right there. I can't wait to get me a wife that cooks.
And it's like, I ain't even tripping. Like, I'll flex on, like, you can have my leftovers.
You know what's bad?
That shit works.
That's hilarious. Ray, why is it that I know how to cook better than almost any girl I've met? Come on, man.
You want to know why? Because specifically in Bay Area, convenience. They're so used to just being able to get this, whether it's like something fast-made food, or somebody else making it for them, or even delivered to their freaking doorstep, because here, you know, we have robots that freaking make your food and deliver it.
Right.
There's literally restaurants here, Austin, that have robots that make your food.
That's annoying. But
Like,
even
what?
such, you're not getting like the most natural stuff in it. You're still getting these crappy quality grade cooking oils that they cook with and shit. So.
I just don't think that it's taught that much anymore. I
It's
remember in middle school I had home ec. Like, we learned to cook and sew and do laundry and like
that.
weird, stupid,
Honestly,
not really stupid, like
no.
actually life goals.
Right. I feel like home ec should be half the schooling now. I mean,
And then we also had shop class where we got to, you know, do like the photo lab, and then we got to do like wood shop.
that's super cool. I wish they had more of that.
Where'd you go?
For middle school?
Yeah.
I went to Mandarin Middle my 6th grade year, and then 7th and 8th grade I went to Fruit Cove Middle School in Jacksonville,
Fruity
Florida.
Cove.
Yep. So
I went to Switzerland Point Middle School.
but we had home ec.
Swiss Point.
We didn't have wood shop.
SPMS.
That's cool as hell though. I wish they still taught that. Now it's probably just all typing and technology courses.
We had a project where you had to have an egg and you like poke a pinhole in it and like drain the egg out, and then you decorate your egg, put little Google eyes and stuff on it, and you put it in a styrofoam bowl as like a carriage, and you had to carry it around school for a week and not break it to like learn responsibility.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
And your freaking friends would always be like slamming your locker door shut, like when you're trying to like hold it or something, you know, like trying to mess with you.
That's hilarious.
I just remember like the biggest drama being at the football games and stuff like that. Like, I just feel like times were different, you know?
Times were different. Times were more simple. A lot of kids are like having depression and shit now because of social media. I'm so glad we grew up without social media. So glad.
I mean, it's so prevalent now. It's like we've adapted, but at the same time, we've adapted to being able to not communicate with each other.
Yeah, well, I mean, what does adapting mean? That just means getting used to the normalization of something.
Right.
Too bad some things that get normalized aren't good for you. Straight up. Sometimes new technology is the best for you.
Some things that are not normal are good for you. Cannabis.
Wow, yeah, weird.
Weird. And you keep saying stigma, and I keep looking at your sweatpants. Dope.
My joggers? You like my joggers?
I like them.
Heck yeah. Do you know if they make my butt look good? No comment. Okay.
No, I low-key was kind of looking at your butt earlier. I was like, okay, I see you with the sweatpants.
I've been trying to do a lot more legs recently.
Good.
Speaking of legs, I'm getting my boy that's a bodybuilder, my best friend from Florida. It's a bodybuilder on here Friday or Saturday. Can't wait to have him.
Can't wait to have him.
Hell yeah. But anyways, my joggers are sick right now. They're Stigma Activewear. They're actually a cannabis company here in the Bay Area that is all about their clothing line.
I love their logo because it looks like a weed leaf, but it looks very clean, but very performance, very
it looks
like athletic. It has that.
It looks looks like a Nike logo basically of the marijuana symbol. But they're extremely comfortable joggers, I'll tell you that. But anyways, the company Stigma Activewear, they're based in Bay Area. Their whole mission statement is cannabis doesn't make you lazy. Stoners aren't necessarily lazy. That's just the stigma that's brought upon them. Bad habits and whatnot make you lazy. Anyways, the whole thing about their stuff is it's activewear. It's meant to be worn outside or on a run or be comfortable, but yet still want to like go for a walk and stuff like that. Their whole clothing line is based upon it's a badass logo and stuff.
Being active and getting outside.
Heck yeah. Hopefully we can have it on the podcast. It'd be great.
Being able to intertwine cannabis with an active lifestyle because so many of us have it.
There we go. And breaking the stigma of every marijuana user is a lazy ass stoner.
Yeah.
Nope. That ain't how it is, buddy. That ain't how it is.